Felt like the inevitable tonight as the Avs go into Seattle and hammer what could be a first-round playoff matchup with the Seattle Kraken. 5-1 is the final. You get the 44th goal of the season from Nathan MacKinnon. Martin Necas, his first 30-goal campaign in his career, and the first goal from Nazem Kadri since all the way back on June 22nd of 2022. Avs fans will fondly remember that goal as well. There were only two people at Amalie Arena that knew the puck was in the back of the net. One was Bowen Byram, and one was the late great Peter McNabb, the overtime winner that put the Avs on the cusp of what would become their third Stanley Cup championship in franchise history. Kadri scores his first goal back since being traded on the NHL's trade deadline, his 59th as a member of the Avs. Spring, they beat the living crap out of Seattle tonight, and then they were able to take their foot off the gas. Yeah, there were some sketchy moments in the second and the third, but this thing was in hand early, often, and throughout the entire game.
Yeah, two big stories from tonight were how awesome Nazem Kadri is on that top line with Nathan MacKinnon and Marty Necas, and then Scott Wedgwood. Those were the two big stories tonight. I don't know. I think it's Wedgwood's job right now. I think it's a game by game basis, but I think we're at the point with about a month to go in the season that it's Wedgwood's job. It's his to lose. How do you keep him out? How do you not start him game one?
Playing great
after what he continues to do.
He's playing great. Like, there's no two ways about it. He has been phenomenal. There's a chance, like, I think he's probably a Vezina finalist, man. He's top 5 in almost everything. Blackwood's top 10 in almost everything, but Wedgwood's just been that much better. So he continues to be the hot hand, and I do think that Bednar is going to try and play that. He's going to give Blackwood these starts to see if he can get back. So I would kind of expect Blackwood to play again on Saturday, which might be a funeral game for the Winnipeg Jets. Winnipeg got beat 6-3 this evening, and they are now falling farther and farther out of what is a pretty jumbled race for the final spot in the wild card. If you beat them in regulation on Saturday, man, I think Winnipeg's dead in the water if they aren't already. Maybe you give Blackwood that chance to be like, hey, let's go back out. Let's prove that the past two games have been, I wouldn't say fluky, but it's more on the defending in front of you than it is on you. That said, man, the second half of this game, when the Avs got pretty porous because they were up by so many goals and you could kind of take your foot off the gas, Wedgwood continued to make big-time saves.
Yeah, they needed him tonight when it was a 3-1 game and big saves throughout. Bailed Brent Burns out. See, I was thinking they want to play Nick Blankenberg, and they did tonight.
I enjoyed him.
Yeah, no, he can skate, he can move. Noticed him a little bit in the third period as they went 7D tonight. Which you get Nathan MacKinnon back from a BS ejection, no suspension naturally. So you're fine. You can be down a forward tonight.
A rescinded ejection, Spring.
Rescinded, yeah, major penalty. Can you sit Brent Burns at all for a game?
No,
you can't because of the Iron Man streak.
Can't do it.
Although coach. You would, and it's not like he's 41. He's, a couple rough games since turning 41. You have a good depth D that you just acquired that you want to get some looks for, but because of this Iron Man streak, you don't want to burn it because who's number one? I was just looking at it. Kessel. It's Phil Kessel.
You can't be that guy. Burns is in the league for two reasons. He's still in the league for two reasons. One, he doesn't have a cup. And two, if he plays the entirety of next year, not even the entirety of next year, if he plays the final 15 games, right? 15 games remaining? Or is it a little bit more? Something around there. He doesn't even have to play the whole year next season. He'll surpass Kessel if he doesn't get scratched or if he doesn't have an injury. You can't be that coach. You can't be it, unfortunately.
But if it wasn't for that, then I would just think, hey, you just turned 41. You played all season. You've had a couple rough games. Let's sit you down for a night, and you'll be fine. You'll be right back in the lineup the next game, and going forward. And maybe we'll rest you another time before the season ends because, you're 41 and we just got this Nick Blankenberg dude, but you can't. But you can't because of this Iron Man streak.
Can't you sit him in the postseason a little bit? Like if you want to see Blankenberg get some playoff minutes against Seattle or Utah or San Jose or Nashville, all teams Blankenberg would be fine against, right? Like you're not going up against the big, bad, bruising Dallas Stars. You're not going up against a more physical team like the Vegas Golden Knights have been for so many years. That first round matchup will likely be against a team that Nick Blankenberg would look pretty darn good against. And if you scratch Brent Burns in the playoffs, it doesn't count against his NHL's Iron Man streak that he's going. You can't be that head coach, dude. Like it would be such a bad look in the locker room.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even think that. I also don't think he's bad enough.
I'm just saying, if it wasn't for that, like this would be a no-brainer almost.
Right. It would be a no-brainer just to give him some nights off and be like, hey, get back to your game. He's not playing bad enough that I'm talking about having to sit him because it's.
No, I just want him to have a night.
So bad, it's not.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying Blankenberg replaces him outright. I'm just saying, and if not for the streak, you just give him a night, and you don't even think twice. It's not even a headline. It's not even a story. But because of the Iron Man streak, it would be a story. Burns will start the playoffs, and look, he'll probably be fine. He's too good. He's played too long in this league. He's too savvy. He'll be fine. But if he struggles or in the series, in the first round series, you can go to Blankenberg for a game. But I expect maybe he could give him a maintenance night in the playoffs just because. And I hope it's Seattle. I hope they play Seattle.
Oh, they would, cool. Dude, they would wax Seattle.
I think that's a sweeper. I think that's a sweeper Rooney. If you play the Kraken.
Sweep Seattle. I think they'd sweep Nashville. I think LA, because of how they play, could sneak one against you. San Jose would be super fun, but I think it's a 5-game series. And Utah looks as though they're probably going to be wild card 1 and not wild card 2. Yeah, I think that's your time. Like this Colorado team is not, barring catastrophic injuries, this team's not going out in the first round.
No,
it's just not happening.
There's no way.
I don't foresee a first round matchup that's like difficult for them.
They'll be on the money line to win their first round series like minus 500.
Yeah.
Maybe even 600 or 700. They should be minus $1 million, barring injuries. And it has to be several. Like, okay, Seattle didn't have Jaden Schwartz and Bobby McMahon. No Landeskog, no Lehkonen, no Ross Colton. That negates that and then some. That's still in favor of Colorado in terms of who's out. And speaking of Landeskog, look, he was going to be on the top line, and maybe he still will be. And Jared Bednar said recently he wants to see Kadri at center, and I get that. And hey, if they want to, I wanted Landeskog on the top line. I thought it was working well. I think it was the best line they could have put out there. McKinnon, Necas, Landeskog. But now am I thinking now that their best line, no matter what, even when Landy's back, is Kadri on the top line? Because Kadri has a little sneaky speed and burst to him.
Oh, he's still got it.
Landeskog, who I think is sneaky as well, is not as bursty as Kadri.
For sure.
And those cross-ice passes are just insane with the three of them on the ice.
When I was coaching, we called it black line. And that was our like juiced up, we only play it for a handful of minutes per game, or in certain situations where you absolutely need to start pushing on the offensive side. I don't know if I put those three together as a play 22 minutes a night together, or like 18 minutes at 5-on-5 in the playoffs together. I think you still stick with Landeskog at the top line. And then when you need to blend it up and you need to go, hey, we're going to go heavy top line, second line gets the 1B minutes, and then like your bottom 6 hardly plays at all, then I'm okay with putting Kadri up there and you go black line hard. But I still think you need to, especially against a team like Dallas, which is just as deep as you are, you have to spread out those players throughout the lineup. I don't think you can go heavy, because Dallas has shown you in the last 2 years, when you go heavy on one line, they are good enough to shut that one line down and then just dare. Like, do you know who the second leading scoring forward was last year in the playoffs for the Avs against Dallas?
Logan O'Connor.
Logan O'Connor.
I happened to see that and refresh my memory recently.
Good Dallas is at shutting down your top line. The best possession 5-on-5 line in the Stanley Cup playoffs last year was the second line for the Avs, and they didn't score a single goal against Dallas. That's how crazy good they are at shutting down a big line. So if I'm going against the Stars, I'm not loading up Kadri on the top line. I'm not doing it unless I have to.
But, okay, so, Bednar saying he wants to see Kadri at center. What, second-line center? Can't do that. You got Brock Nelson, right? Or you guess you could play Nelson on the wing, but I like Kadri flying out to the wing way more than Nelson because Kadri has that sneaky speed to him, which I want more on the wing. You saw Nick Waugh, gathering a puck on the wing. He's not the fleetest of foot. He fumbled that thing. I don't want Nelson. Nelson's better than Waugh, but I'd rather have Kadri on the wing. So what are you going to play? Kadri at third line center? He's a top line player right now. I can't have him on the third line. So he has to play wing essentially, no matter where he is.
The wing. I'm okay with him playing the wing. I don't want to move Nathan McKinnon out of the middle of the ice.
He has to be in the top 6. Therefore, he has to be on the wing. And so, hey, I don't think you really don't miss a beat. If it's Kadri on the top line, if it's Landeskog on the top line, that means the other's on the second line. Okay.
It's a great problem to have. Don't get me wrong. It's a great problem to have.
Yeah.
And they'll be able to figure that out over the course of the next 35 days. That's how many days we have remaining in the regular season when it ends against Seattle on April 16th. Tonight's game, while it feels ho-hum because Seattle is nowhere near as good as you are, again, you will wax that team if you see them in the playoffs. You needed the 2 points because Dallas is doing something that they've only done one other time in their franchise's history, and they have a 14-game point streak. They mollywopped Edmonton tonight. 86 seconds into the game, they score, and they didn't stop scoring against the Oilers. They are red hot. They are still on your heels. You have a 5-point lead with a game in hand against Dallas. I still think you're going to be totally fine, especially when you go into the funeral game against Winnipeg on Saturday afternoon. You can't drop these types of games. You can't just go into these things sleepy because before you know it, Dallas will win those games. And if you don't garner points, then you start tightening up at the end of the season. I want the Avs to be ready and have a little bit of fire under their asses, but I don't want them to be gripping thinking that they're going to lose their hold on the 1 seed. You have to take care of the shitty teams. And I know they're going to be a playoff team, but Seattle's way closer to being a crappy team than they are the Dallas Stars.
Hey, riddle me this. Why do the Stars have a 14-game point streak and not a 14-game win streak? That's right. That's right.
We did go back against that win streak, and I think, what did we find? There's 3 wins against legit teams in the league. They added
Vegas. I got it up right now in Vegas, but Vegas has been
they haven't been Vegas, but they're still a force to be reckoned with.
They're still a team that they got a chance. That's it. Vegas again the other night. So 2 Vegas and now Edmonton. Dude, Tristan Jarry tonight.
So bad.
Allowed 7 goals on 27 shots against. Saw something like that. He ranks 58th out of 60 qualifying goalies since he's come over to Edmonton. And of course, he came in for relief for Connor Ingram, but I think he gets lucky that he didn't have to face Nathan McKinnon.
Yep.
In the third period. That's what allowed Tristan Jarry to only allow 1 goal in the third period on Tuesday night. It's still possible that Edmonton's your first round matchup, but guess what, dude? Edmonton might get a game. They might get a game, but man, going from back-to-back Cup finals to I think there's no way you're getting back to the conference finals. I don't think so. They're in a lucky. If you're Edmonton, you got to do everything you can to get out of the 8th seed, to avoid that 8th seed. You have got to be top 3 if you're Edmonton.
But I don't want Edmonton against Colorado. That's the scariest first round matchup that you could have. That's without a doubt. It is the scariest first round matchup you could have.
Why is my camera off? I'm trying to fix my camera.
Figure your camera out. You can still talk though.
Okay.
It is it's a first round matchup that I want nothing to do with. So my hope is
Oh, there
that
you go.
Edmonton figures it out and they get into the 3 seed and you get to play LA, Nashville, Seattle, San Jose, one of those teams, and you win in 4 or 5 games. Then you watch Dallas and Minnesota beat the living shit out of each other for 15 days. And then you get to play them fresh and at home. Like, this is the reason why you play so well during the regular season. It's a shame that the NHL is set up that only 1 or 2 teams get rewarded for a round for being so good in the regular season. Bill Guerin came out and said it. He goes, I want it to change. This is crap that 2 out of the 3 best teams in the league are guaranteed to be gone by the end of the second round, and 1 of the 3 is guaranteed to be gone by the end of the first round. The executives hate it. The players hate it. The coaches hate it. The fans fucking hate it. You and I hate it. The only one who loves it is Gary Bettman. And as long as he's at the helm, it's not changing. So thank your lucky stars that the Avs have been so damn good this year that they get the cupcake in round 1.
Yeah, it fortunately doesn't. It could. Dallas is still 5 points back. It's super annoying. But
won't go away. They won't go away.
But I mean, the Avs are an absolute wagon, and I will be surprised. I'd be very surprised still if Dallas catches them. I don't want to play. The league shouldn't want that matchup in the second round. And in the NBA, divisions don't mean shit anymore. It's just conference records. It's just 1 through 8. Just do that. You should do that. You should get rewarded with a better second. The Avs would have a much better second round matchup. They'd be playing like Anaheim or Vegas or Edmonton, which they would not be playing Minnesota or Dallas even in the second round. And then I guess you just got to change your perspective, I suppose. Fortunately, the Pacific is down, so the conference finals should be a joke in a way, right? They should be a joke in a way. The conference finals are actually the second round. And the only thing that the other conference finalists is going to have going for them is hoping that that you are dead tired coming out of the other side. That's
right.
it.
I think that is the beauty of being in the Pacific Division right now is you get to look at Colorado and Dallas and go, like, if you're Anaheim, you go, the hardest thing that we have is Vegas, and Vegas is not playing well right now. The hardest thing they have to go through is Vegas, and hope to God that Edmonton doesn't just like figure it out and they get good goaltending by the grace of God, or you take a bunch of penalties and Edmonton scores on 35% of their power plays, and that's how you lose the series. If I'm in the Pacific, I am salivating as the 1 seed. If I'm like Joel Quenneville right now, the one chance that you have if you're the Ducks to get past the Avs is that they play a 7-game series against Dallas and you come in and there's a couple of players that are out and injured. Mm-hmm. I still feel like this team has everything. And now they're scoring on the power play, man. I know they had a shorthanded goal scored against them. I hate that.
12 power play 2, Burns and Waugh.
Why is Burns out? Why is Burns out there on the power play? Put Sam Malinsky on the power play. He's got the hardest shot on the team.
Sam Malinsky he looked like his early season self tonight. He had a game.
That dude needs to be power play 2 quarterback.
Yeah. Or Taves. Why'd they get away from Taves?
Taves is fine. Malinsky, I think, is better as a power play quarterback.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, totally fine with that.
And you're only going to be out there for 30 seconds?
30 seconds, but look at what those 30 seconds can do. Yeah, I don't know why. Was it because he was tying Yandel tonight? And we've seen Burns captain that power play too. Well, I don't know, man. You're 40, now 41, and has he missed a game this season, Brent Burns?
No, if he missed a game, you would not. You're right. The Iron Man streak.
Stupid.
He hasn't missed a game since I was a sophomore in college.
Stupid question. Impressive, but you get tired. You get gassed a little bit, so no doubt, early in the season, he looked fine captaining power play 2. He's a little gassed, a little old right now. It's okay.
He hasn't missed a game since the Avalanche roster looked like this. Matt Duchene, Gabe Landeskog, Nathan McKinnon, Ryan O'Reilly, Paul Stastny, Jamie McGinn, John Mitchell, P.A. Parento, Cody McLeod, Alex Tanguay was on the team the last time that Brent Burns missed an NHL game.
That's cool.
Let's check out the Nuggets roster in 2013, 2014. You know who's the head coach? Brian Shaw was the head coach of this team. Your best player on the Nuggets that season. Was it like Ty Lawson? The Nuggets went Ty Lawson, Kenneth Farid, Wilson Chandler, Aaron Brooks, Randy Foye, JJ Hickson.
Man, yeah. That's incredible to not look at all the injuries. It's always injuries this, injuries that. That's incredible that the dude just hasn't gotten nicked up at all. Or at least I'm sure he's gotten nicked up, but to the point where he couldn't play.
Like, it's so easy to miss time. Like, look at all the wings that are out for the Avs.
Everybody who's
Ross
out. Everybody
Colton,
misses time for this
Gabe
team.
Landeskog, Arturi Lehkonen out. Logan O'Connor hasn't played the whole damn season, although he's skating. He's coming very, very close. There's 4 legit rostered wingers that are missing on this team, and they haven't missed a beat.
I wonder who's number 2 on the Avs. Iron Man leader.
Oh, I wonder. I couldn't tell you, man.
Find this because, dude, everyone's always hurt. You had Brent Burns. Let's see, longer streaks. I don't have the numbers, but they appear to be Kulak and Nelson, who are newer to the team. Give it time, boys.
Brett Kulak has played 328 consecutive hockey games. That is good for 9th most active in the league. Brock Nelson has played 309 consecutive games. That is 11th most by active players in the league. You have to go all the way down to, I think you have to go to Jack Drury. Jack Drury, 107 consecutive games, is 65th.
Mm-hmm. So McKinnon has missed time. Necas, everyone's missed. Landeskog missed 3 years. And somehow Brent Burns has played for 13 straight years. I don't know, man. This plays smart player. I guess there's something to be in. Gabe's a smart player. It's just luck of the draw in a way. Good for Brent Burns.
Yeah, they're not. They're not going to sit him.
Needs to play a little better though.
I think he'll bounce back, and he will be a player that if you deploy him in the right zones, especially, and this is why home ice advantage matters so much, because you get last change, right? If you deploy him against the right lines in the right zones, he's going to be perfectly fine. Where you're going to run into issues is in the second and in the third round, particularly in the second round when you play Dallas or Minnesota, when you're on the road for games 3, 4, and 6, and John Hines and who the hell is the head coach in Dallas now?
I can't remember the dude's
I always forget his name.
Can't remember his face.
So whatever you're doing to hunt the proper matchup for your top line is Dallas or the Kaprizov line for Minnesota, dude, they're going to absolutely pick on Brent Burns when he's out there if he's playing like he is right now. But that's the beauty of being the home team. You get the extra game where you can shelter him.
Okay, so that's what tonight was. It was, we need something to criticize, so let's pick on the 41-year-old because the team, they look like it did the trade deadline ignite them. They look like they're back to where they were before, like mid-January, where they, the malaise set in. It looks like they see what's right in front of them. They know Dallas is still right behind them, but I don't think that's as important to them as what's right in front of them. They look like they're ready to go. And I do think that getting Kadri in here, what it would look like when everything's healthy is crazy to think. And again, thank goodness they made the deal because again, you are playing like Kiviranta in your top 6 right now, because you're without Landeskog, Lehkonen, and now Colton. So you got, you'd have 2. You'd have Kiviranta and you'd have Kelly in your top 6 if you couldn't swing the Kadri deal. So that's huge. That makes them even a little undermanned, miles better than a Seattle team, miles better than a Winnipeg team. I think getting Kadri in here, not just the play, but also the vibes too. Like you can feel there's a nostalgia, like you can smell it in the air. Like
there's a swagger, man.
Now, wait, this guy was in this room the year we won a cup, and he's here again. And it's like it's psychology, it's association, right? I see Nazem Kadri's face in an Avalanche locker room, and it reminds me of winning a Stanley Cup.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's so very clear on the ice that they walk into games and they go, I dare you to beat us. I dare you. Like, you know how you beat us? Nathan McKinnon gets ejected from a game for a bullshit goaltender interference 5-minute major. Like, those are the crazy things about how you can beat this team.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still missing, as we said, 4 active rostered and impact wingers on this team. It just feels different. Like, tell me if I'm wrong. Like, I don't want to be like the Homer or the burgundy glasses guy. So if you think I'm wrong in the chat, like, please let me know. It feels like 2022. It really does to me. And it's not just being like, oh, they got the band back together. They do everything really well. And the power play now is clipping at 25% or damn near 25% since they came back from the Olympics. If they run at 25%, even if they give up a shorthanded goal or two there, man, they're not getting beat. Stay healthy. They're not getting beat.
Yeah, no, tonight also goes to show that if they had Nathan McKinnon in that third period, I mean, how good did that top line look tonight? They would have done some real damage in that third period with that sense of urgency. But yeah, they're the team to beat. They're the clear cut favorites. I suppose, let's see Dallas when Rantanen gets back. But I don't know if it's enough, man. I don't know if they traded for Nick Waugh thinking he's going to be third line center. Now they're going to play him third line wing because whoopsies, they got Kadri anyways.
Yep.
And Drury will stay, third line C.
Yeah, they're not a perfect team. There's no such thing as a perfect hockey team in the Cap era. There are some things that they're going to lull on. There's times where the defending doesn't look as tight, but then you look back and you go, they are nearly 20 goals better than the next best defensive team in the National Hockey League. And that is a fucking canyon of goals between them and the Dallas Stars. Like, they're not only the best offensive team, they're the best defensive team in the world. And they're also getting elite goaltending. Like, the goaltending isn't, remember, they went 16-4 in the Stanley Cup final, and their goaltender was Darcy Kemper, who was statistically the worst starting goaltender to win a Stanley Cup since 1988 when Grant Fuhr did it. Like, that's how good the 16-4 team is. And now they have a guy in Wedgwood who's top 5 in every statistical category, and a guy who's top 10 in every statistical category who should be your number 1. Like, they're not perfect, but they're freaking close, dude.
Well, this is better than the Kemper-Francouz situation, which was good. I guess it was a pretty good tandem. Upper level tandem. Francouz had to play in the 22 Cup run, and it was big. They needed what Francouz gave them. Whoever starts the playoffs, it'll probably be theirs until they have a bad start or an injury comes about, like Kemper's eye. But I feel even better about going to whoever it would be, whichever wood it is, than Francouz. Like, I feel even, and I felt fine with Pavel. I feel even better if it's Blackwood or Wedgwood. And right now, I mean, again, I'll say it again. I think it should be Wedgwood. This could change, but if the playoffs started tomorrow, it should be Wedgwood. I think he's built for it, man. I really do. And I love the idea of, like, wait, the Avs are getting this out of this guy? In the league, the Oilers and the Leafs, he's searching for goalies. Everyone just searching for goalies. And now career backup Scott Wedgwood. And he's sprawling and making saves that are just unreal. Like, he just wants it. He just straight up wants it.
He battles.
He's just willing himself to saves.
I do love that about him.
Everything to him, and he's also getting better with his more his more positionally sound saves. And I love those brown pads too. I love those brown pads. A little throwback. That's good for the playoffs. The playoffs need a goaltender like that.
Yeah, I'm glad that you talk about how he competes. It is such an underrated trait for a goaltender is compete level. And I think he competes harder than most goalies around the NHL. Like, I think that's what makes Jordan Binnington so great in big time games and big time situations is his compete level is through the roof. Now, when it's not a big time situation, he can be a complete sieve. But when you see him in the Olympics and in the Four Nations, like Binnington, he battles as hard as anyone in the net, and that's what makes him It's what made him a Stanley Cup winning goaltender when he came in that worst of first season for St. Louis. I had a question, but Raj, what is the goal differential since coming back from the Olympics? Not as good as it has been, but they are top 5 in goal differential, and they are top 5 in goals against in the league since coming back from Milan. So still elite, just not as like completely dominant as they have been all season. So if you just want that small sample size, they haven't fallen off a cliff. They've just haven't been as like head and shoulders above everyone else, but they're still very much in the window of like, yeah, it's a cup worthy team.
They're the team to beat. It's their cup to lose. And I'm gonna make a prediction here. I think that their first round opponent is not going to be the team they saw tonight. I don't think that team's making the playoffs. I think they will have traded a second and fourth for Bobby McMahon for absolutely nothing. Thanks for trying, though. I think that the Avs are going to face the Sharks, the team that currently now at the end of tonight occupies the 8th seed.
Did you see William
Eklund's goal? Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth.
Whoa. It's the craziest goal I've seen since Ovi scored on his back against Phoenix back in like 2005.
This is sick. Say like batting it. Like, did he do that on purpose? Like where that puck ended up midair, then to bat it in? I mean, I was sick.
I don't know how he
whacked
did it.
The shit out of that thing.
It was insane. Like the move to even get to the outside and drive the net front. I thought that was. I had my buddy sending it to me, and I thought the first 3 seconds of the clip were going to be the clip. It was like, oh, this is how he got to the net, and he just like scored on a wrist shot. And then my jaw hit the floor after how he finished. And it's not like he just like found the middle of the net. He ripped that thing top corner, didn't miss an inch of the puck. That is, for me, without a doubt, the goal of the year.
That was Aaron Judge getting the ball right in the sweet spot.
So sick.
Whoop. Nice little right-handed swing. And then Celebrini, Will Smith. I think if I'm the NHL, I rig it. I force it. I get Kelly Sutherland at Sharks games, and I get the Sharks some points. Sorry, Sharks opponents. I want that's a great 1-8 matchup. Celebrini versus McKinnon and Makar. Like, yeah, that's what I want, and that's what it is right now. And you know what? That young talent is so good. That's my prediction. I think that's what it stays as. I think that's your 1-8. And I'm fine with that. I'd rather have Seattle. I'd rather sweep those suckers 4-0. I think maybe San Jose gets a game. Like they feel something, you know, like, hey, look at us. We can do it. That's fine. I want to see that series.
San Jose doesn't scare me physically either, which I really like because I think if you match up against LA, who just hits everything that moves, like the 3 games in which the Avs have been hit the most this year in the NHL, all 3 of them are against the Kings. Now, the Avs have won all 3 of those games. They won 2 of them very handily, but LA just hits everything that moves. So what gets me a little bit nerve-wracked about playing the Kings is that even though you could come out sweeping them or beating them in 5, you could come out of that series bruised. San Jose doesn't feel like a team that's going to bruise me up. It's a team that goes like, oh, if they get hot and they score on the power play, you could have one of those games where you look back and you go like, how the fuck did we just lose 5-2 to a bunch of 20-year-olds? One of those games could happen, but I don't get nervous about like a massive hit happening to Martin Necas or like Cale Makar getting run behind a play.
Sure.
And now that guy is like injured for the whole postseason and is 70% of his normal self. That's the reason why, outside of like just the straight entertainment factor, that's why I want to see San Jose.
I would say of the 4 that San Jose is the least of that. That is what you said. The least physical, but the most skilled. And it would be fun. It would be good to see. It would be a good way to get some attention on Macklin Celebrini for him to be going up against the Avs star players and just that elite team. So I'm rooting for that, and I think it will be that. It could be wrong. Like I said, I hope it's Seattle because you know what we saw tonight. That was a hockey game that didn't need to be played, but I'm glad it was. The Avs got some good reps and some feel goods tonight.
I have a sneaky feeling that the next time that we talk to you guys as we sign off here on Saturday, a 2 p.m. game, we're going to be live on Between the Pipes around like 5 p.m. on Saturday. I'll be doing network, so we're going to be like delayed for 25 minutes or 30 minutes after the final buzzer. I think Saturday's game is going to feel eerily similar to tonight. I just think Winnipeg is dead in the water.
I do too.
And that's a funeral game. So I'm expecting a win for them. We'll do another show coming up on Saturday, and then the Avs return back home starting next week for I think Dallas is their first home game, right? Isn't it?
I know it's on that stretch.
Pittsburgh. Sorry, they play Pittsburgh on Monday.
Sam Girard.
And Dallas on Wednesday, which will be two really entertaining games before they leave on a 4-game road trip that'll run around Chicago, Washington, Pittsburgh, and Winnipeg. So, Spring, unless you have any other thoughts, man, Avs win 5-1.
Yeah, the sad thing is you play Dallas, let's see, next week on Wednesday, and then you finish the season series Saturday, April 4th in Dallas. It's stupid, dude. Like, it felt like the last Dallas game. Oh, that's where they put them away. It's going to feel like if they beat the Stars on Wednesday, oh, this is where they put them away. Nope, dude, it's still going to come down to that April 4th game in Dallas. They won't die. They just won't die.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. As always, for Spring, I'm Raj, Between the Pipes on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5's digital channels on X, on Twitch, and on YouTube. Just search and subscribe at Altitude Sports Radio. We'll talk to you guys on Saturday evening after the Avs take on the Winnipeg Jets in a matinee affair. See you guys Saturday.